So here is our young man. Hello, how are you? Hello, how's your leg? Jumped too much yesterday? Too much jumping? So this is how his house looks like inside. Of course he messes up the floor always, but we've insulated it with multiple layers there, and some extra wood on the sides, and yeah, made opening wider because he's a big boy. Oh, sun came out, of course. Melbourne. He keeps wanting to sneak into the house, but he's not allowed to, because he moves like a tank, and just his tail can knock over lots of things. Bull Arab. Lots of mixes out there. This one is purebred, as purebred as they get, if you know what I mean. It's not a recognized breed, but it is in Australia by the Bull Arab community. They're very enthusiastic about responsible breeding and not mixing any other breeds, the unnecessary breeds, into the dogs, so they don't display weird traits. They're crazy enough. Seriously, Bull Arab is crazy enough to put any Great Dane and Mastiff and Pit Bull and Kelpie into it, really. Yes, he's recovering from TPLO surgery on his knee, CCL. The ligament inside the knee was partially torn by about 1/3, but because the protocol for the vets is to recommend TPLO surgery for large dogs like these, because they say he will further tear it and then he'll do the other leg as well. So they recommended the surgery, and we did it. And first they referred us to a place where they were charging $6,000, but I shopped around and I went to RSPCA, and they did it for $4,500. It's the same day discharge. He came home. He could walk by himself, obviously not using the sick leg for a little bit, but he hopped on 3 legs. The biggest challenge was getting him out and back into the car. Lifting this dog is very hard, seriously. He was between 45 and 50 kilos. I think he's around 45 now. He should be around 45, this boy. But at some point he just gained a bit of weight, because when he is not moving as much due to injury, even before surgery, he just gains weight. They gain weight really easily. You need to follow the portioning. If you're feeding dry food, you need to follow what's on the label. And if you're making your own food, well, good luck, because I have no idea how you're gonna measure all the micronutrients and macronutrients in it, but I'm sure it's possible. When we went in for surgery, they noticed an ear infection in him. This would be the first one in 4 years of his life, and it was easily treated with some ointment which we just put into his ear for a week or 10 days, I don't remember now. It was very easy to fix. Usually he roams free around his backyard when he's not sick, when he's not in recovery. It's always open. And then he gets, ideally, poo time, ideally 2 walks a day, but lately it's been just 1 walk until the surgery. If you have kids, I don't recommend these dogs, because they need a lot of attention, a lot of exercise. Someone's gonna miss out. We got him when I was third trimester pregnant because my old dog died quite suddenly from cancer within weeks. And first we thought we're not going to get another dog, but then we decided we will. And the main reason why we have him and not some other dog, we got bullarab breed, because I was looking for a guard dog to guard us, to protect us if necessary. And it was COVID. During COVID, it was really hard to find puppies that are well priced and bred responsibly. And I was getting scammed. They attempted to scam me a few times on Facebook and Gumtree. And then I posted my own ad on Gumtree and got contacted by a lovely lady from Swan Hill in Victoria North. It's near border with New South Wales, I believe. And we drove there. And got this one. He was the cheekiest one. Believe me, he still is. Just don't give him a chance. If you get him excited, you gotta run. He's gonna jump and he's gonna scratch you. He's gonna knock you off your feet. These dogs need a lot of discipline. E-collar training. Very stubborn. Yeah. I would not call him a sensitive dog. I would not call him a pet, really. He would love to be, but on his terms. Right now, I got him when he's calm. He will have his witching hour, like kids do, around 5-6 p.m. And if I don't lock this gate right here, around 5-6, he will do zoomies. He'll do zoomies jumping on the deck, slipping, tumbling, and with this knee, it shouldn't be done at all. Protocol says he should not be even let out. He should be on leash all the time. But he was very unhappy being here locked up. First, he was locked up with this black gate, first week. Second week, he was locked behind this gate. It's not enough for him. This is a goat horn. He's not a huge fan of these, but when there is nothing better, he does accept it. What he really likes is kangaroo stuff, kangaroo tails, kangaroo tendons, lamb necks. We don't give him big bones, beef bones, because he just crushes them and eats them. He swallows big pieces and struggles to poo. And you can imagine how big those pieces are if a dog like this struggles to poo. He's really big. And yeah, he just doesn't know how to gently eat bones. Toys-wise, all the Kongs are damaged except for the Wabba. Where is it? Pink one. Wabba. Usually lasts the longest, funny enough. Oh, it's there. And these squeakers, latex squeaky toys, he's very gentle on them. But my previous dog was half the size of this and just would destroy them and shred the filling everywhere. So these are Kong Wabbas. And even here you see it won't last. Oh, what is that inside? I really didn't expect that. This is the worst. This stuff, once he gets it out, it's like a cotton wool. It will go everywhere. This particular model is not very good, I suppose. But yeah, every dog is different. You figure out what works for yours. But this one, yeah, he just likes to destroy things. He has the no dogs collar to spare the lives of the little fluffy ones mainly, whose owners usually not aware of the danger, and they just sometimes walk too close by us or release their dogs around him. They cannot anticipate the danger. There should be more education for dog owners. If you have a small dog, you should stay the hell away from big dogs, especially if your dog is not well behaved, if it's not well trained or socialized. Only with time we learn these things, that it's better to ask people before approaching them with their dog. It doesn't matter whether you have a dog or not. If you just want to pet the dog, you need to ask for permission and prepare to hear a no. Luckily, he's not a snappy one. He gives a lot of warning before getting naughty. If he doesn't like something, he will give you visual cues. If you know how to read those, you should be fine. You'll know if he likes you or he doesn't like you. But he has very low tolerance for small dogs. And it's not prey drive. He grew up with all kinds of dogs. For the first year, we socialized him heavily. You can see it in the other videos. He is just, he's grown up now. He's matured. And he's been partially conditioned to hate small dogs because over the years, when we walk on the street and there are some dogs, little ones especially, behind the fence or in some window which faces the street, and they're barking incessantly and just cursing at him, he really hates that. So I think he's been a bit conditioned to hate small, white, fluffy dogs in particular. But this is what it is. We train him quite well. He's conditioned with an e-collar to command. So I'm quite confident that I can control him. But sometimes it's really hard. Prevention is the best cure. Just avoiding situations with unfavorable encounters with dogs that you know that he will not like. He's almost always good with some breeds and not with the others as well. It's because not all dogs are born the same or bred the same. They're groups of dogs for a reason. They were bred for different purposes, and they have different features and different behaviors and different priorities. Some are people-oriented. This one is not. They want to serve. He doesn't want to serve. He's very independent. Some are extremely dominant. I think he would go on par with Akita in his dominance and stubbornness and independence. Akita, Mastiff, that kind of confidence in him. Definitely not any kind of shepherd. He doesn't like shepherds. He tolerates pointers quite well. And border collies, even though they are quite naughty around him sometimes, he tolerates them surprisingly well. Tolerates, I mean not attacking them, not wishing to kill them. Tolerates, he loves Rottweilers, he loves Mastiffs. Any dog of his size and weight or bigger, he respects and he wants to bond with them. Pack dog. Bullarabs are bred to work in packs, and hierarchy is very important for them. And for lap dogs, it's not. They don't even know what hierarchy is, so they just come to him and sniff his face, you know. And he does not accept that. This is Bullarab for you. Bullarabs are big. They have long tails. The muzzle is not very short. If the muzzle is too short, chances are there's a staffy in there. The muzzle is almost as big. It's as big as their head up to the ear, I suppose. Large paws. If the paws are too thin, then there's something else in them. The layer of fur is very thin, prone to allergies, to contact dermatitis. Very thin, very single layer of fur, no fluff, all very smooth. The coat is smooth. They used to think he is a Jack Russell when he was a baby. We got him at 6 weeks old and he was the size of Jack Russell. Yes, but then we socialized him heavily from the age of 8 weeks. After the second vaccination. First vaccination was at 6 weeks, if I remember correctly. Second one was at 8, and out he went. Or 9, maybe 9 weeks, but not later. He needed to be socialized. He was pissed. He was hyper. He was giving us headaches at home, and we had to get him out and about with the dogs. And no regrets. Of course, it depends where you live, because some areas have some diseases in the parks. But we are in Melbourne, in suburban Melbourne, and I did my homework, I did some research. There were no news about recent cases of any severe diseases in the parks. So yeah, at 8 or 9 weeks he was out and about, and he didn't get sick. I think he got a bit of kennel cough later, in a few months from then, but it's just like a human cold. If your dog does not have a compromised immune system, he'll recover very quickly from that. And I believe there's no point in vaccinating against kennel cough unless your dog goes to boarding places, to dog hotels or doggy daycares, etc. This one has no chance to go to any of those, because he'll just take over. He would take over. He would love to go crazy, but I'm just staying calm around him and trying to keep him calm so he doesn't further slow down the healing process of his leg. For the future, I would say I'm not sure if I would get bullarab again. Training is difficult. You really need to know what you're doing, and even though I had big dogs before, I had Kelpie Doberman and I had a Doberman before, I was struggling training him. It took me some time to figure out how to deal with a really stubborn dog. And we desexed him at the age of 12 months, so we suffered until he was 1 year old. He was extra high-powered. There was extra energy in him. He calmed down. He did calm down after desexing, definitely, a little bit. He was not so aggressive with other males when there are females around anymore. But yes, I probably would not get another one like this because they're prone to injuries. Big dogs, not just bullarab, anything bigger, over 30 kilos, there's next level of injuries in the picture. And he did his knee not from jumping, he did his knee from running after the ball. Normal walk in the park, throwing ball, and he just didn't land very well. He accelerates really hard before catching the ball, and I don't think it's a natural movement. So yeah, and the moment he captures the ball, his legs go everywhere, and I think that's how he got injured. So with all this information in mind, it's up to you if you're going to get a bullarab or not. And yes, be very careful. Adopting dogs is fantastic, and my previous dog was adopted. But even that dog, at 5 months old, had traumas already, had anxiety. And if you adopt a bullarab here in Victoria from a shelter, chances are it will be a huge mix of dogs. There'll almost definitely be some staffy in there, some terrier, some extra terrier. Maybe staghound, which is not bad. Maybe some kelpie. And at shelters, they do not put a lot of effort into identifying the breeds. I've walked into a place recently with him, and there was a pit bull in that place. Vet clinic. It was a red-nosed pit bull, which are restricted and which are dangerous. But yeah, no one does anything about controlling it. So I think shelters' main purpose is to save dogs. They don't care about the breeds, but you should care what you bring into your house, especially if there are children around. The more is mixed into them, the more challenges you will potentially face. Behavioral challenges. each dog is like a universe. It's a separate planet. So yes, of course there is nurture, there is training and discipline and socializing, but there is nature, there's genetics, and sometimes it's very hard to fight that, especially with working and utility breeds, which were bred for a purpose other than entertaining people.